Your region is about to feel weather this weekend that belongs in late May, not late March. And the numbers backing that up are genuinely historic. Over 300 daily temperature records will fall across the United States in just the next 3 to 4 days. That almost never happens in March, and meteorologists across the board are calling this one for the record books. Phoenix just hit 106 degrees Fahrenheit today, the highest temperature recorded in that city's 137-year history for the month of March. And the heat dome driving that is still building, not retreating. Whether you're in the heat zone, the blizzard zone, or the fire zone, your country right now is split 3 ways. Record heat in the west, blizzard cleanup in the Great Lakes, and 1,120 square miles of Nebraska still on fire. Every single one of those stories is unfolding right now. And every region of this country has something in today's forecast that is straight up worth your attention. Stick with me. Around the 5-minute mark, I'll show you exactly which days in late March to watch for the return of active severe weather. And the models are finally starting to agree on a time frame. And stay through to the end, because the late March and early April pattern coming together could be one of the more active stretches of the entire spring season for your area. I want to be straight with you right off the bat. The next few days are genuinely quiet for most of the country on the severe weather side, and after the week we just had, that is worth a moment. But don't let that quiet stretch lull you to sleep, because the late March window is shaping up to be significant, and I'll break down exactly why in a few minutes. Before we get into it, drop your city in the comments and tell me, are you dealing with the heat, the blizzard, the fires, or something else entirely where you are today? All right, Thursday, March 19th, and what a contrast we've got painted across this map. So let's start with the most immediate story and work out from there. The heat dome that built across the desert Southwest this week is flat out historic, and the numbers coming in today are making meteorologists do double takes. Phoenix at 106 degrees Fahrenheit today breaks a record that has stood since the city first started keeping data 137 years ago. If you're in the Southwest right now and it feels like July, that's because it basically is. And here's where it gets even more interesting for your forecast. Friday could push even higher. If Phoenix hits 107 degrees Fahrenheit on Friday, that would be the highest temperature ever recorded anywhere in the United States during March. What makes this all the more jaw-dropping is that the record it just broke wasn't from last year. It dates back to when Grover Cleveland was president, and Phoenix was a small desert outpost keeping its first weather logs. The heat out west right now is so extreme that even your overnight low temperatures in parts of Arizona and California are breaking daytime records from previous years. Your lows are hotter than their highs were. San Diego is at 91 degrees Fahrenheit today, with Santa Ana winds adding to your fire danger. And if you're visiting the California coast this week expecting cool ocean air, your expectations are about to get adjusted in a hurry. Palm Springs is sitting at 110 degrees Fahrenheit right now. 110 degrees in March. The kind of number you'd normally see in peak desert summer, not the third week of the calendar's third month. Las Vegas, 98 degrees Fahrenheit. Tucson, 102 degrees Fahrenheit. Los Angeles, 94 degrees Fahrenheit. San Francisco, 88 degrees Fahrenheit, breaking its own March record. The heat is no longer locked in the desert. It's spreading up your entire West Coast. For your perspective on 106 degrees Fahrenheit, if you're not used to desert heat, outside in Phoenix today without water and shade, the heat starts affecting your judgment within 20 minutes. Extreme heat warnings mean exactly what they say. Here's the number that'll stop your scrolling. Over 300 individual daily temperature records on track to fall in just 3 to 4 days. Some areas could shatter their records by 10 to 15 degrees in a single afternoon. Friday, March 20th, is the spring equinox. And while most springs creep in gradually, this one is arriving with a sledgehammer for your part of the country. Temperatures 25, 35, even 40 degrees above normal by your weekend. By Saturday, parts of Minnesota are looking at temperatures in the low 80s. That's the kind of reading you normally see in early June. And Texas and Oklahoma are pushing into the mid-90s for your area. For some perspective, the average high in Minneapolis on March 21st is 42 degrees Fahrenheit. If your city hits the low 80s Saturday, You'll be running 40 degrees above normal for your area on that date. Denver is near record warm at 72 degrees Fahrenheit today. Salt Lake City at 68 degrees Fahrenheit is seeing mountain snowpack melt so fast it's creating mud flows. Your entire western tier is in a pattern that defies the calendar. West Coast, Arizona, Nevada. Drop your city and your current temperature because I've got viewers in Minneapolis at 18 degrees Fahrenheit this morning who need to see that contrast in plain numbers. With all that heat comes serious fire danger. And this is the part I don't want to get buried under the record temperature headlines. Conditions across your Central Plains and Rockies today are genuinely dangerous. Fire weather is elevated to critical in eastern Wyoming, including Cheyenne, your Nebraska Panhandle, and northeastern Colorado. Open burning is not recommended in any of those areas today, period. Nebraska's situation is something nobody wanted to see. Grassland fires have consumed over 1,120 square miles, making this the largest wildfire outbreak in Nebraska state history. To put 1,120 square miles in perspective for you, that's an area roughly the size of Rhode Island burning right now in the Nebraska grasslands, fueled by the same dry, windy conditions building this heat dome. The smoke from those fires is spreading east. If your sky looks hazy or yellowish across Iowa, South Dakota, or parts of Minnesota today, that's wildfire smoke, not fog. Now let's swing to the other end of the country because while the West is baking, the Great Lakes region is still in full blizzard cleanup mode, and your situation in Michigan is no joke. Michigan's governor declared a state of emergency for multiple counties, Alcona, Alpena, Delta among them, as Marquette faces blizzard conditions with 12 to 15 more inches on top of what already buried those communities. Detroit at 30 degrees Fahrenheit, Milwaukee at 25 degrees Fahrenheit, Green Bay at 20 degrees Fahrenheit still getting hammered, and winds gusting to 60 miles per hour in upper Michigan are creating whiteout conditions on your roads that are genuinely dangerous right now. Minneapolis at 18 degrees Fahrenheit, Fargo at 12 degrees Fahrenheit. Your two cities are sitting in a deep freeze with no meaningful warm-up until at least this weekend, and power restoration is going to take days more to complete. Great Lakes crew, upper Midwest. How's the cleanup going in your area right now? Drop your city and conditions, and if you're still without power in Michigan, let me know. Your story matters, and I want to hear it. Moving east, New York City at 48 degrees Fahrenheit today is dealing with 55 miles per hour wind gusts and local flooding in low-lying areas. The aftermath from earlier this week is still very much being felt in your coastal region. Philadelphia at 50 degrees Fahrenheit, Baltimore at 51 degrees Fahrenheit, DC at 52 degrees Fahrenheit. Your cold front from earlier is still keeping things chilly and blustery all along the East Coast, and the wind is going to be the main story for your area today. New Jersey at 49 degrees Fahrenheit with 50 miles per hour wind gusts today. Strong enough to bring down trees already weakened by this week's severe weather. So if you're in the Garden State, keep an eye on anything hanging over your car. For your northeast commute, a rain-snow mix is possible across lower Michigan on Thursday morning. Not a blockbuster, but enough to make your roads slick, so give yourself extra time if you're heading out. Boston at 42 degrees Fahrenheit. Hartford at 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Albany at 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Your northeast is cold and blustery today, and there's a nuisance snow event possible for your New England late Thursday into Friday before your weekend warm-up. And don't sleep on Seattle. Your city at 52 degrees Fahrenheit is dealing with localized flooding as the Snohomish River keeps rising. And while everyone's eyes are on the heat and blizzard, the Pacific Northwest is having its own serious weather week. Portland at 55 degrees Fahrenheit with steady rain. Your Cascade slopes picking up heavy precipitation today, which is actually welcome news for your regional fire risk, since that moisture is going where it's needed most right now. Hang with me here. The late March timeline I promised you is coming up next. And this is honestly the most interesting part of your forecast right now. Here's the big picture for why all of this is hitting your country at once. A massive ridge of high pressure is locked over the west, acting like a dome that traps heat and pushes storm energy north toward Canada. Think of it like a two-lane highway. The fast lane runs through Canada with all the cold air and storms, while the slow lane is your warm, quiet stretch across the south and plains. What that means for you personally. If you're anywhere from the Ohio Valley, south and west, your weather is about to feel dramatically warmer. And by your weekend, it's going to be genuinely beautiful outside. Your warm-up begins Friday, and the speed of it is going to catch a lot of people off guard. Temperature rises of 30 to 40 degrees in under 48 hours are common with this type of pattern shift. Picture this. You wake up Saturday morning in Kansas City, open the front door expecting that bitter March cold you've had all week, and it's 83 degrees at 10 in the morning. That's not an exaggeration. Kansas City is legitimately looking at the low to mid 80s by your Saturday, which is the kind of temperature you'd normally wait until Memorial Day to see in that part of the country. For you personally, if you're in the Southeast or the Ohio Valley, your warm-up starts Friday, and by Saturday, you're looking at temperatures that belong in a completely different season than what you woke up to this morning. Even Indianapolis at 45 degrees Fahrenheit and Columbus at 48 degrees Fahrenheit today, your weekend rebound is coming, and it's going to feel like the weather just flipped a switch on you overnight going into Saturday. Small caveat for your Ohio Valley and Northeast. A backdoor cold front Sunday into Monday could bring scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms before the warmth settles back in for your area. The term backdoor cold front means it moves from northwest to southeast rather than the usual west to east. So your precipitation is going to come from an unusual direction for your area, which catches a lot of people off guard. For your weekend planning specifically, Friday and Saturday look excellent for your area. Sunday is when that front arrives for the Ohio Valley. And by Monday, you're on the cold side again before your pattern flips back warm. All right, quick question. What are you planning to do with that warm-up this weekend when it finally hits your area? Drop your city and your plans below, because after this week, everyone deserves a Saturday outside. All right, I promised you this at the top, so here it is. The late March timeline that's got both models finally starting to line up on something real for your area. The key window is late next week, specifically Thursday, March 26th through Saturday, March 28th. And both the European and the GFS are showing active weather returning for your Plains, Midwest, and Ohio Valley. The European model is showing multiple cold fronts rolling through with potential severe weather on your southern tier. The GFS is going further, showing a stronger cold front with significant back-end snowfall for your east coast. Here's what that GFS solution means for you specifically. If it verifies, we'd be seeing a storm system drop snow as far south as your mid-Atlantic and southeast. The third time this month that's happened. Both models agree on thunderstorm and severe weather threats for your Midwest, Ohio Valley, and Great Lakes around March 26th to 27th. So that date is worth putting in your calendar and checking back on. For the very end of March, one more cold air shot is possible for your area. Frost and freeze warnings could return for the south. And the standing advice from every meteorologist right now is simply don't plant yet. The Climate Prediction Center's 6 to 10 day outlook shows high confidence for below average temperatures in your Northeast and Great Lakes between March 24th and 28th. That's when your next cold shot comes through. The 8 to 14 day outlook through April 1st tells the same story for your area. Warm for the south and west, cooler for the northeast. The 2 to 4 day warm then cool cycle that's been repeating all month. So the bottom line for you, a quiet, warm, beautiful stretch from Friday through roughly Wednesday. Genuinely enjoy every bit of it, but don't completely tune out because late March wants to get active again. Quick, honest question. Are you looking forward to this quiet, warm stretch? Or are you one of those weather nerds loving every bit of the chaos? Drop your answer below and name a city you want in tomorrow's update. Let me leave you with something bigger picture because I think it's worth your time. April is shaping up to be a genuinely active severe weather month, and the pattern is already pointing that direction for your region. Once that western ridge starts shifting eastward into your central U.S. in April, it's going to clash with cold air still bottled up in Canada. And that kind of clash is exactly what generates serious severe weather outbreaks. April 2nd to 5th is the first window I'm watching for a potentially significant outbreak for your Midwest and Plains. Still far out, but both models are hinting at an active start to April. Here's what makes your April outlook particularly worth watching. The ridge that's been locked over your west is going to start shifting east, and when it does, The trough replacing it will bring cold air directly over your mountain west. That cold air meeting warm Gulf moisture streaming north is your classic severe weather recipe. And the timing of that clash looks to line up directly with the early April timeframe your models are already flagging. For your planning this weekend, enjoy the warmth, check your emergency kit, and make sure your weather alerts are turned on, because April is historically the most active severe weather month of the year for most of your country. Quick run through your conditions right now. Phoenix, 106 degrees Fahrenheit. Palm Springs, 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Las Vegas, 98 degrees Fahrenheit. Tucson, 102 degrees Fahrenheit. Your desert Southwest is in full summer mode, and it's not backing down this week. Quick vivid check for your Southwest. Outside in Phoenix right now, without shade and water, the heat starts affecting your judgment in 20 minutes. Extreme heat warnings are not a suggestion for your area today. Great Lakes and Upper Midwest. Your Minneapolis at 18 degrees Fahrenheit. Fargo at 12 degrees Fahrenheit. Milwaukee at 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Green Bay at 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Detroit at 30 degrees Fahrenheit. The contrast with the 110 degrees Fahrenheit west right now is genuinely hard to process. Southeast doing well today. Nashville, 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Charlotte, 66 degrees Fahrenheit. Atlanta, 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Raleigh, 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Your area is getting a preview of what's coming, and by Saturday, it's going to be even better for you. Hawaii is still dealing with Kona low flooding. Honolulu at 82 degrees Fahrenheit with active flood warnings, and a G2 geomagnetic storm today could cause minor GPS disruptions at higher latitudes, including your northern states. Before I let you go, the practical rundown, because what you need to do today varies a lot depending on your zip code. Desert Southwest in California, extreme heat warnings mean business for your area. Hydrate before you feel thirsty. Check on elderly neighbors, and avoid being outside from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. if you can. Michigan, Wisconsin, Upper Midwest. Stay off your roads if you don't have to be out. Check on anyone still without power in your area, and be aware the weekend warm-up could melt snow fast and create localized flooding. Wyoming, Colorado, Nebraska. No outdoor burning today in your area. No campfires, no burn piles. Fire conditions are critical. Your fuels are bone dry, and those winds take a small spark to a big problem faster than you expect. Southeast and southern states, enjoy your warmth this weekend, but hold off on garden planting until at least after the last few days of March, when that final cold shot passes through your area. Last call for comments, city, temperature, and what your Thursday looks like. Baking in Phoenix, shoveling in Michigan, watching fire smoke in Nebraska, or just enjoying a perfectly fine March day somewhere in between. Here's where my attention is locked for the rest of this week. That late March active window, specifically March 26th to 28th, where both models are pointing at thunderstorms, possible severe weather, and back-end snow for your area. If the GFS solution on that cold front verifies, we could be talking about a significant event from your plains through the Appalachians and into your Northeast. I'll update you every single day as those runs come in. I'll have the full breakdown every day this week, what both models agree on, where they split, and what the honest confidence level is for your specific area. Hit subscribe and flip on the bell, because when that late March picture starts to sharpen, you want to see that update the moment it drops, not find out from somebody else's screenshot 3 days after the fact. Stay safe out there. Keep the water handy if you're in the heat zone. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. There is still a lot of March left, and it is not done surprising you.